Well, welcome to our live stream. Got a special announcement for you. We recently made something. Well, not recently. It's been in the works for about a year, but we recently completed it. And if you stick around for a little bit, we're going to tell you more about it.
Yeah. In this live stream today, we're going to talk to you guys about something that we pulled from our masterclass, and it's going to be how to build credit without going into debt. All right. And if you want to check out our masterclass, we got one more live masterclass coming up next Wednesday. All right. That's going to be the 24th of February, and it kicks off at 7 p.m. Pacific time. All right. If you guys want to do that, you need to go to adultfinancialskills.com/masterclass to get your free seat for the course.
And in case you're new here, I'm Alex.
And I'm Philip.
And we teach you all kinds of stuff about personal finances that you probably didn't learn about in high school or at home, unless you were lucky.
Yeah. And we try to keep it a little bit entertaining for you guys, you know, because finances can be boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially if you learn from a bunch of old dudes. Not the most exciting stuff in the world.
Not at all. I mean,
old dudes.
Yeah. Speaking of old, how old are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you now, Grandpa? You're like.
Yeah, I'm like 45. Dude. About to kick a can.
You're getting up there, man. Yeah.
Look at these wrinkles, bro.
I'm telling you. It's all those raised eyebrows. It's that selfie face that you got where you're just like, he got this look that he does where he got his selfies and he's just like, it's perfect. Do it. You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You exactly know what
Those selfies die on my camera. They don't make it anywhere. All right. So quick question, right? For some comments here is, what's your favorite color and where are you guys from?
We'll give you 2 Air 5s if you can guess what Alex's favorite color is. Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Do we even have comments on here? Is anybody here? I clicked the wrong button. So you got a girl and you want to live with her, but you want to go into the military. What should I do? Ooh, that's a good question.
You're on the National Guard, so you don't,
Yeah, I mean, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can go into a reserve military, right, where you leave for a little bit and come back home. Don't do what most people would do and marry her so they would come with you, right? Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
you're going to marry in the first place, maybe, but not just because.
Yeah. It depends on how long you guys have been together, man. If you guys have been together for a long time, then maybe you can entertain that idea. If it's a new relationship, then
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You've watched that one happen, crash and burn many times.
Take all your money while you're in training.
Yeah. Just make sure if you go away, you assign all of your accounts to her and her name. Just kidding. Don't ever do that. Yeah.
Don't ever do it. Yeah. Well, so why not marry? So, I mean, you can marry, and that's fine if you guys are like honestly in love, but you don't get married for a reason to like live together, like if that's why you're getting married, then that's the wrong reason to get married. Coming from me, I've never been married, but I mean, Alex is married. He can tell you.
Yeah, but I didn't get married to live with her in the military.
Yeah. If you were to get married and let's say it doesn't work out, then that person is going to be entitled to some of your money for however long they deem it necessary in the court. What's that? The allotment? Is that what it's called? They get an allotment? Yeah.
Well, not allotments, but it's oh my gosh, annulment. Well, you can get an annulment if you got divorced real quick, but if they're getting part of your money, it's
alimony. That's what it is.
Yes.
Alimony.
Yeah. You don't want to be paying that the rest of your life. But
yeah,
if you're gonna get married for the right reason.
It'd be like a couple years.
Yeah. All right. So back on track.
Yeah.
My favorite color is OD green, like army green.
Like that?
Like that.
Ah. Yeah. I had this first too, also, just like I had this tattoo first. Okay, guys. So we're clear.
Just see that swagger jacket.
Yeah. He lacks the creative ability to pick out cool things on his own. Hi,
He's
Jason.
not a cool thing first, whatever.
Yeah. Anybody else notice he's wearing a different colored T-shirt for this video?
Yeah, switching it up, man. I always wear
I love
black
it.
all the time.
What's my favorite color?
I'm dirty right now, and I haven't done my laundry in a few days, so. Hey, thanks, Dr. Digital.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. You know, hopefully we'll grow up into a real channel one day and have a bunch of people recognizing us on the streets, telling us we talk about silly stuff on the interwebs.
I mean, we gotta keep it a lot harder because, like you said earlier, you know, finances can be definitely boring, and we try not to be boring. Try to keep it, you know, somewhat entertaining, but also educational because we know that most of the people that are watching our channel are somewhere between the ages of like 15 and 30, and yeah, nobody wants to fall asleep while they're hearing about finances. I mean, I don't. If I watch other people's stuff and it's so boring, I can't finish it. I know you don't want to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I like to learn about finances and I still don't want to learn about half of it. So I get it.
Man, people are so boring. But all right. So one of the reasons why we even started this channel is Philip and I used to volunteer and we would teach high school classes. I don't know, anywhere from 50 classes a year to, I think one year we went crazy and we taught over 120 classes in high schools. And we realized that seniors, whether they came from a low income family or a high income family, they really didn't know anything about money when they graduated from high school unless they had a parent that was like a financial advisor. And only then do they really know much about money. And we're trying to bridge that gap, right? To a lot of kids who grew up like us that didn't have access to parents that taught them about money, or maybe they didn't learn about it in school, or if they did, it was so boring they didn't pay attention. So we're trying to fill in that gap and help people out.
Yeah. A lot of the times we would get done and the students, when we would have a Q&A, they'd be like, man, I wish I would have learned this like my freshman year, because here they are, seniors getting ready to graduate. And, you know, they haven't saved any money. They haven't had a bank account. You know, they want to move out, but they're like, oh, man, you got to do all this stuff before you move out. It's crazy. Would have never known.
Or they don't know how much it costs to move out because it's freaking expensive.
Yeah.
But if you had a good, solid like savings plan with some good financial advice, you could have been saving up for a while. And then, you know, when it's time to get out, you can actually move out.
Absolutely. So back to the topic of the masterclass that we're teaching, and the piece that we're bringing over for this live about the masterclass is the debt portion of how to build your credit without getting into the debt. And some of the big parts of that is how credit and your credit score is going to affect your interest rates on things that you get. I mean, this could be student loans, this could be credit cards, this could be car loans. I mean, if you have good credit starting out, if you just start off on the right path and you keep building on that, then you're going to have gooder, better credit over time, and that's going to help save you money.
Absolutely. Yeah, the better credit you have, the less money you're going to pay for the same stuff you already need anyways. So, for example, we're going to pull from our credit masterclass and use car interest as the example, right? So to break down why having a good credit score can save you money, here's a great example, okay? So you got interest rates for used cars, right? So let's say multiple people are buying the exact same car, right? And it costs $20,000 over 5 years with no money down. It says 0% down. We mean no money down. And so let's take Jack, for example, right? So Jack has a credit score of somewhere between like a 579 and below, which isn't good, right? That's actually a pretty bad score. He has an interest rate of 20% on his car, which is disgusting. His monthly payment for that $20,000 car would be $530. And after 5 years, he'll paid off the car. But on top of that $20,000, he'll have paid an extra $11,793. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. So for a $20,000 car, he'll have paid over $31,000 for it because he doesn't have good credit. Now, you see a bunch of other examples there, right? So like Joe's credit is somewhere between a 660 and a 719, which is pretty good credit, or we'll say good credit. And he gets a 6% interest rate, same car, same $20,000 car loan over 5 years. But because he has better credit, he only has to pay $387 a month. And over the life of that loan, over the 5 years, yeah, he'll pay off $20,000, but he'll only pay $3,199 in interest. So he pays a lot less money for the exact same car because he has good interest. And this is a great example of why interest is so important, or why having a good credit score is so important. Because if you want to have things in life, you can have them even if you have bad credit, but you're just going to pay a whole lot more money for it, right? So if you look at James coming in with a 720 plus, which is a great credit score, then he gets a 4%, or, I mean, shoot, I've got a 2% on my auto loan. And I got that back when I had I think a 730. So interest rates vary from bank to bank, right? And you get different rates, but for his example, $368 a month compared to $530, right? And then you look at the overall interest paid. James only pays $2,100 compared to Jack paying $11,793. That's a crazy amount of difference. And if you're struggling to make ends meet and you're just moving out of your house, or you're not making a ton of money right away and bills are hard, $368 compared to $530 would make a huge difference in your life financially.
Yeah, you guys kind of have to think of it as grades in high school. So if you're doing your work and you're doing what you're supposed to be, you're going to have that A plus. I guess people don't have A pluses, but you're going to have that A as your grade, and James is going to have an A in the credit score game. And then Jack likely isn't even going to be able to get a loan at that 579, and he's going to have an F. He's failing at the credit game. He's probably going to need Jack is a dummy. He's probably going to need a co-signer to be able to get that loan. And unfortunately, when you have to pay that much interest on a car loan, you're probably going to you're only going to end up getting rid of that car before you even pay it off. And then you're going to get in this whole negative equity spiral where you carry in the remaining loan balance into a new loan, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. It's bad.
Dude, that was pretty much me in college. So I screwed up my credit pretty bad in college because nobody taught me about it, and I was not responsible with it whatsoever. And I take full responsibility for that, right? Because I could have learned on my own, but I didn't. And so my credit wasn't good, man. When I was in college, I had a mid 500s, which sucks, right? A lot of people don't want your business, but if they do give you a loan, I was like Jack paying that 20% on a Volkswagen, and that thing was terrible, and I couldn't get out of it fast enough. But thankfully, I was T-boned, and that paid the car off with insurance. But I was paying massive payments on a car that wasn't worth it. And it took me years to build back from mid 500s, probably about 5 years to do it the right way. So that's another reason why we like to, have these talks and these YouTube channels and the master classes, is so hopefully we can get you guys not to make the same mistakes that we made, or especially I made. You were a little smarter about it. You had better scores, but
mentor. Just one.
Right. At least you're smart enough to listen, though.
I mean, kind of listened. I mean, yeah. But so to answer your question there, Digital, you could probably get a 720 if you started it, at the age of 18. You could probably have a 720 by, your 20th birthday. I mean, maybe even 19 if you're actually using it the way that we would tell you to in our course that we have out.
Yep.
But we'll talk a little bit more about that. I mean, so unfortunately, everybody's going to start their credit game, their credit at the same. They're going to start off probably around a C for the grading scale, and that's where people are going to start out. And then literally the next step that you move is going to determine whether you go towards that C plus or that C minus, and then it's going to spiral from there. So everybody's going to start there. The more responsible you use your credit, the faster it's going to build. So.
And we go way, way in depth on that in the course so that we can teach you guys how to actually do it the right way, the right habits, and then maximize your credit score as fast as you possibly can. So, yeah, it's super important, though. I mean, those are things that really make a big difference. The Duck TV asked, what do you think is a good first job? I think that really comes down to the person, honestly. I think a good job is something that builds your skills, right? Builds your confidence in your abilities, and that kind of job is different for everybody, right? So I would say my first job was not a good first job outside of the fact that it gave me a paycheck, right? I pushed carts at a grocery store. not the greatest. What was your first job, Philip?
I worked at Jack in the Box. Got hired at Jack in the Box at 16. I mean, so was it
regular first jobs?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and people talk bad about working fast food all the time, you know, but really you got to get a job where you can, you know, when you're first starting out. And then you take from every employer that you get, you take some things from that job that could hopefully help you be better and more successful in your next job. So Jack in the Box is, you know, basic entry level job, but I got great customer service skills out of it. I learned how to talk to new people and, you know, deal with the happy people and the mad people. And it taught me some accountability on having to show up on time. And it gave me an income that came in that I had to use to, you know, pay my stuff. Because pretty much as soon as I got that job at 16, my mom stopped buying me clothes and food. And she's like, well, figure it out. And I was like, oh, all right, Mom, I guess I'll eat this top ramen or sprinkle it with some dirt, you know.
I mean, those are all important things. As far as like a good first job, if you're not down to, you know, work at a grocery store or do fast food or whatever. I mean, we've done some videos on it, but there are some great jobs out there if you're more of like the entrepreneurial mindset. Here we go. I work at a coffee shop, but it's the only thing available. But I've been able to climb up to a supervisor position by showing up, taking all the shifts I can. That does make a big difference, right? You show up, take on as much responsibility as you can, and you work hard, and your work ethic, you know, that shines through. And I mean, there's not a lot of people that have that, unfortunately. So, I mean, it makes it easier for you, right, to move up, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy for myself. How often do we do our taxes? Every year.
Yeah.
When I do it. I actually just did mine. Well, I didn't do that. You know, so I don't do my taxes because when I was 18 or 19, I tried to do it on the computer and I messed it up and I owed the IRS like $2,000, you know, because I didn't know what I was doing. And they ended up just garnishing my paychecks and taking it back. They were like, yeah, it sucks for you. And they did that for like a year until my next income tax refund was supposed to come, and they just took it all until I didn't owe them any more money. So now I pay people to do it. So if they mess it up, then they can pay for it, you know, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Now he's traumatized.
I have PTSD from that stuff. It's real struggles. Yeah. Hey, Alex, how do you do your
taxes? Yeah, how do you do your taxes? So it depends on, I mean, I don't know what country you live in. Let's assume it's in the States. I mean, we got people from all over the world here, but it really depends on if you just have one job or you got multiple jobs, or if your parents claim you. There's a lot of variables that go into that, but we have a great video on taxes that shows you the different tools of like how to file your taxes and different websites to use. There you go.
Yeah, this will be down there in the comments. Just remember that we're not at all tax professionals, you know, so we can't technically give you, you know, the advice on how to do it. We can just tell you kind of, you know, how we've done it based off of what we did. So
we can give you the tools and lead you to the, you know, the instructions on how to do it, but legally, because we're not licensed tax professionals, we can't give you like legally binding advice on investing. So we don't really dabble into that one too much because we're not licensed professionals. I mean, we both invest, but we're not trying to get sued. Right.
Yeah.
So
if
we
you guys
got to do some of the basic stuff, right, with taxes, but beyond that, legally, yeah, you got to stay in our lane.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are, you know, younger and you guys don't have any kids, you're not married, you don't have a business or anything, you just work a regular job that pays you hourly and they take taxes out of your check. Typically, you can go to like an H&R Block or a tax mutual, whatever place, and it's like $80 to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll do it for you, put in the stuff, and you're done. And if you get money, awesome. Awesome.
I did TurboTax forever on my own. And then once I got married, my wife had a business, and that made it more complicated, but she's amazing at taxes. And that's probably one of the best things you can ever learn is how to do your own taxes, because the better you are at doing your own taxes and figuring out write-offs and stuff, the more money you can save.
Yeah. 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 So my taxes are going to be a little bit more expensive because I have property that I rent out, and it has like deductions and all this other crazy stuff. So I pay a little bit more. But I pay like $300 or so to get my taxes done by a CPA, which is a certified personal accountant, I think is what the acronym stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong. Most people, that are 18, 19, single, that don't have any kids or whatnot, even if you have a kid, they're probably paying $80 to $100 to get their taxes done. So it's still not ridiculously expensive, and they can take that money that it would cost you out of your refund if you get one. So hope that answers your question. The duck. Hey, Alex, you can answer Simone King's question.
So with how to build credit without a credit card. So you're 22, moving out, and apartments look for credit history, and you're concerned about that. It depends on what you want to do. Some people are totally anti-credit card, and I get that if you're scared about using it, if you don't know how to use them right. But credit cards can be a great way to build up your credit if you do it responsibly, right? So that's one of the things that we talk about in our course is how to build your credit. I know you asked about how to do it without a credit card, but we are definitely advocates of using like a secured credit card to build your credit the right way, and putting small amounts on your card, paying it off every single month, and it can skyrocket your credit using it that way. But some people are hardcore against credit cards because they've seen other people use them the wrong way, and they can definitely snowball. That's what screwed up my credit when I was young. When I was like 20, 21, nobody taught me how to use a credit card intelligently. They're like, oh, well, put small stuff on it and then pay it off at the end of the month. And then the end of the month came, I couldn't pay it off. And then I still put small stuff on it, and then I still couldn't pay it off the next month. And that cycle continued and continued. And I ended up using some of my financial aid from college to pay off my credit cards. And if you do it that way, credit cards suck. They're terrible. I would never recommend using a credit card like that. But like secured credit cards where you have to put some money down in order to get it, and you have a small amount of a limit, you just put like Netflix on there and pay it off every month. And that's just a way that you can build your credit rapidly in a short amount of time. But if you need to get an apartment, so me and my two friends, when we got our first apartment, neither of their parents, none of us had good credit, and somebody had to co-sign for us that had good credit, and their parents didn't have good credit, right? Because a lot of people don't. Thankfully, my dad did, and I can't believe that he actually did this, but he co-signed for all of us, which is terrifying. I would never do that for my kids and somebody else's kids. But anyways, that's how we got in our first apartment. Pretty fortunate that at least he was able to do that. 1 out of 3 parents. And if you can't get somebody to do that, or you don't have credit, then you can always rent a room, or try and get into an apartment with somebody else that already has an apartment, and then rent a room from them. There's different ways you can go about it.
Woo! Yeah.
All right.
Oh. No, I think that's great.
Dude, if you got 18, you're doing good.
Yeah, having any money at 18 is good. You're probably beating a lot of the people to your left and your right. If you can do 5K, then push that up and try to get more. By your 20th, keep those goals and those saving habits going, because that's good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you enlist if you're homeless?
Just gotta have an address. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta have an address. Gotta have all your documents.
Yeah, as long as you can meet the other requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see.
Financially,
an electrician or an accountant? That really depends. Which one's financially better? Because I know electricians that own their own company that make really good money, and I know accountants that have their own company that make really good money. They're just two very different jobs. They both have high credentials. It just depends on you, and do you want to work at a desk, or do you like to work with your hands? Do you like to build stuff, or do you like to look at numbers?
Do you want to make $100 doing what you like, or do you want to make $100 hating your life? Not that you would.
Maybe not everybody hates it. We just aren't computer people. We don't really like sitting at a desk all day.
If I had to sit at a desk for more than 2 hours, I get bored and I have to leave. So,
right.
Yeah.
I have to get up and move around. So back in the day, I used to work at a bank, and I used to get in trouble because I would always be up walking around the bank. I hated being at my desk. Probably the worst job I've ever had in my life, by the way. Like, dude, why are you up again? I'm like, I don't want to sit down. I hate sitting in my desk all day. You're like, dude, no, you're supposed to be at your desk, dude. I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy.
All right, back on task. So let's see, did a video about trade jobs. Been thinking about going into trade school for a while now. Maybe make a video with more information about trade school and how it works. Actually, I just got done writing a script about that. So that is something we're going to have in the near future. It is all about how to get into trades.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do have some other videos on our channel that cover, like trade school versus college and whatnot. And that kind of covers the difference between the two, if that's information that you're looking for also.
And another thing that we're going to be doing here, I think it's going to come out in about a month, is because we both know a lot of people in the trade industry. Actually, I'd probably say half my friends are in the trade industry and probably close to the other half are in the military. But we're going to be doing a whole series on trades, whether it's electricians or plumbers, welders, HVAC, yada, yada, yada. So we've got a whole series coming out pretty soon about trades. So look for that. And I think that's going to help a lot of people because that seems to be a huge trend right now as more people are looking at trades, less people are looking at college, especially because colleges are all pretty much online right now. And I know a lot of people are getting real sick of online constantly for education. So trades are obviously, those are the ones that were deemed essential, right? Those people still went to work. They were still making money. It was easy to put food on the table. So I think a lot more people are looking at those more now than ever.
Yeah. Simone, yeah. So we do have a video already that's what is it? The investment basics. Is that what it is? Is that what it's called? But it talks about your IRAs and that type of stuff. But yeah, we could absolutely look at more investment videos. We have to be careful with that because again, we're not licensed professionals, so we can't give legal or investment advice without people potentially suing us for giving them bad information. So it's a harder area for us.
I think we both have Robinhood and watch stonks and everybody loves talking about Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies and stuff right now. If you guys have anything you would like to learn about, throw it in the comments. We're always looking for more content ideas to make videos on. So if there's something you guys really want to see, let us know.
Yeah. And if you do want to find out more about some investments, go to your local bank and talk to one of their financial advisors there, and get an IRA started as soon as you can. Those things are great. I mean, they just build on top of themselves. So the younger you are when you start it, the more money you'll have when you go to pull it out.
Yeah, that's actually where I learned pretty much everything about finances. When I used to work at a bank, and then behind me was the financial advisor, and I just sat there and I picked his brain all day long. And tell you what, I learned way, way more than everybody else around me because I just sat there and asked him questions all day. And it's probably one of the most valuable jobs I've ever had for my knowledge. I didn't really like the job, to be honest, but the amount that I learned from it totally changed my life.
Yeah. Well, so, what we were talking about earlier, if you guys were here for the credit score and the interest rate breakdown for all the people, having good credit is important. It's going to give you the same things that everybody else can get, even if they have bad credit. But in the end, you're going to pay less money for it, which is obviously important because then you can put that money towards other things. We have that masterclass again. If you guys want to check it out, we have our last live viewing of it for next Wednesday. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's on the 24th. The link is right there. If you guys want to go check it out, it's free. All you got to do is go to that website and get your seat and then show up at 7 p.m. We're going to get this wrapped up here for our live. We appreciate everybody coming in and having everybody come out and engage with us. That was real cool. Really appreciated it. Did I say that?
Actually, before we wrap it up, we have an online course that we made And that's part of what the masterclass is talking about too, on top of the how to build your credit, right? Without going into debt. But the online course is something we've been working on for about a year now. And it's amazing. You know, not to like, I mean, I love it because we created it. It's got a lot of personality.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Of course, it's us. But the thing that's so great about it is so many other people out there, right? They'll just, or if you're lucky enough to have learned about finances in high school, right? They just teach it to you. Everything else out there that we've come across just teaches you the information. So we adopted a model of crawl, walk, run, right? So crawling is learning about the finances, right? And unfortunately, if you learn it and you don't apply it right away, people tend to forget it and then they never do it, right? Or when they go back to do it, they're like, what was that I learned about? So we're going to teach you how to crawl, right? We're going to teach you the information, and it covers banking, budgeting, and credit, right? All the stuff you need for a strong financial foundation. So we're going to teach it to you. And then the walking phase of it is you're going to research it and figure out how it applies to you. And then the running part, you're going to actually do it. You're going to actually apply for those things, right? So by the time you're all done with it, the whole financial foundations that you need to be successful in life will be there. You want to just learn about it, you'll have actually applied it. And so by the end of our online course, you're going to be set up for complete financial success as an adult on the basics, right? So all the things you need in order to succeed as an adult, it's huge, super important. And those are the things that people just tend to leave out in life. It's all the stuff that people wish they would have learned in high school. And we're not just going to tell you about it. We're going to actually walk you through it, and you're going to have to do it, right? So by the end of the course, you're fully set up to be successful.
Yeah. I mean, we're decent adults, you know, where we are currently in life. But I know personally, if I would have had more of this information that we're going to give to you guys in this course when I was fresh out of high school, I would be very, very much farther than I am.
Oh man, I'd be in a totally different place. I mean, I'm doing good now, but like my early 20s would have been massively different.
Yeah. So here on the screen, you guys see it's kind of like a little sneak peek of actually what one of the modules are going to look like. This is module 1, which is banking and why banking is important. And then we have all these videos in there. We have PDFs that accompany the videos. And then we also have the transcripts that break down all of the audio that's through the course, so you guys can follow along at your own pace. And then you guys would have lifetime access to this and use it as often as you needed to. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Check it out. adultfinancialskills.com/online-course. It's right there on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. You know, so go to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, share us with your friends. Thanks for all the comments, and we will see you guys next Thursday when we go live again at 7 p.m. ish. Time. Yeah. All right, y'all. Bye.